Well, it's time for the teams to take another round on the round robin. Remember, last season around this time would be the time the teams would play the second legs against each other. But this time there will be 3 rounds around the horn. So each team will play each other 3 times, meaning even after this, there is still one more meeting for every team. Hello everyone, I am Metafiction, and here on Matchday 6, we've got some very intriguing matches for you. First up, it'll be Schwarzwälder Fußballverein against Tokyo SC. Then we take a trip to Rome, where AC Romana will face off against Leafyside Celtic. And then finally, CA Buenos Aires host CD Tenochtitlan. Some very fascinating matchups here. We start, of course, in the Black Forest in Germany. Schwarzwälder have been on a bit of a skid there, as you can see. 3 losses on the spin. They'll be up against a Tokyo team that has looked a little impressive of late. There you see the table currently, both these teams in 5th and 4th respectively. Leafyside Celtic at the top of the table going into today's matches. SFV get us kicked off here on their pitch. Clark immediately making a run up the near wing. Nearly headed in by Topostli, but Wolf able to hold on. No surprises, both teams with a 4-2-3-1. A bit of a controversy regarding the tactics of late. So many teams using similar tactics as that header. Fizzed in, but Wolf just about able to block it. Certainly a lot of discourse about the lack of tactical diversity in the SSL. It's something that'll have to be solved, I think, later on. But for the moment, both these teams will know exactly what to expect from one another, as that pass intercepted by Topostli. Tokyo do get it back, though. Herrera drifts past Summers, puts the cross in. Face can't get the header in, and that will be wide. Face nicking that ball off of Summers and releases Bobby. Bobby takes the shot, and it's tipped wide. Williams doing well there to keep that one out. It will be a corner for Tokyo, and Herrera will take. Near post, and that's headed out. This time by Xavier, and it's another corner. Sent in, near post, headed away. Power with a good challenge to disrupt that move. It looked like Zoldyck was going to try and recycle things, but nothing doing. Draw your attention to the bottom center right of the screen. Tokyo's average position without the ball, very advanced up the pitch, at least until that moment. Certainly trying to press the home team here. Have to see if it works. They have possession here in the SFV third. Zoldyck face work to Ramos, who sends it wide. And Tokyo certainly have been seemingly the more likely to score. They've had the more chances. It's another corner here for Herrera. And that one just over by Eilish. So a goal kick for Forest. Kilgannon forward to Summers. And pressure from Herrera forces that bad pass, and now Slothinson to Face. Tokyo on the counter. Lots of players forward. Here's Face. Drifting back inside, takes the shot, and that's not far off the mark. That could have been a huge individual goal there, but nothing doing. Ronflex now with the corner, near post, headed away again. Back out to Bobby, who takes the shot, and another good save from Williams. Herrera delivers. Primaris, trying to bring it under control, has to send it back, and that will See the end of that move. Now here's Ronflex with the free kick. Takes the shot. My goodness. What a free kick from Ronflex. Did you see the curve on that? An absolute hyper beam of a free kick, and it's 1-0 to Tokyo. Well, you love to see a goal like that. Just so much bend. A showing of finesse from a player not known for it. Certainly well done by Ronflex on the free kick there, as Power looking to try and start something for SFB. Machado sends it over the bar. And so at halftime, it is that spectacular free kick that is the difference here in Germany, as SFB trailing 1-0 to Tokyo SC at the break. Well, teams relatively even. There hasn't been much in the way of attack in terms of shots. Tokyo have had the better of what there's been. Certainly, again, more advanced up the pitch, trying to press more urgently for the ball. Nevertheless, we have begun the second half here. Tokyo do kick us off, but immediately losing out. As among their backline, Summers releases Stain. Stain making a run up the near wing. Bobby in pursuit. Will overtake just about to slow him down, but not before they get to the attacking third here. Shot from Sinclair does win the corner. Madison. Up into the air. And Bobby able to clear. Closely chasing it down. Tokyo now trying to get something going to extend their lead. Ramos switches play to Herrera. Herrera back to Lee. And again, Herrera with the cross, but it's a bit of a header battle, and that ends up wide courtesy of Zoldyck. Well, 30 minutes to go, and it's a corner for SFV. Stain to deliver. Near post, Xavier brings it under control. Out to Toposli, and that sent into a crowd of bodies. Clark now to try again. Crosses. And it looks like there's a penalty. The referee has given a penalty here. This could change the entire face of the game if VAR allows it. And the penalty has been given. Power going down in the box, and it's Xavier to take the penalty. Put SFB in the lead, but Wolf saves. That is a big save for Tokyo. There is a corner to resolve. Madison delivers. And that's headed away out to Topostli. And headed behind again. Another corner. Tokyo not out of the woods yet. Madison. Into the air. Xavier bringing it under control. Postly. Kilgannon. And that pass intercepted by Primaris. And now trying the long ball counter, but it looked like more of a clearance than anything else. Another SFV corner, really starting to pile on that pressure. Stain. Case heads away. Back to Stain. To Posley from distance, and that is the equalizer. Making up for that penalty miss earlier, SFV now tied with Tokyo, 1-1. Posley on the edge of the area, gets the pass from Stain. And it just lasers into the bottom corner there. Wolf can't get down and... saved, perhaps. Big offside there as we enter the final 15 minutes. And that is not going to help Tokyo's cause. Billy Bobby is going to have to come off here. Injuries shouldn't prevent them from playing the next match, but that's a huge blow at this late stage. Can they hold on the next 10 minutes? Will they be able to get a winner, or will SFV press home their advantage? Time ticking by rapidly. A draw looking likelier with each passing second. 3 minutes of added time coming and going very quickly. And it's looking like this will indeed be a 1-1 draw as the final whistle is blown. Tokyo going up in the first half, courtesy of that beautiful free kick from Ron Flex. SFV thought they were in trouble after that missed penalty from Matthias Xavier, but a couple minutes later, Tepostli, I'm sorry, I can't. Tepostli with the player of the match, responsible for that equalizer. So both teams walking away with a point. Certainly looked like SFV found another gear in the second half. Might be feeling a little hard done by to not be winners, but I don't think Tokyo or SFV can complain too much about the point. 1-1 your final there. Next we move to Italy, where AC Romana will host league leaders Leafyside Celtic. One team in excellent form, the other not so much. It's going to be interesting to see how these two teams with differing fortunes come up against one another. Of course, Celtic relegated from Division 1 last season, looking to come back up at the first time of asking. Romana, meanwhile, having lost 4 of their last 5, as you can see there, up against Celtic, who have won 4 of their last 5, but did hit some snags, so they won't have an unbeaten record so far this season. Nevertheless, they are on 12 points from a possible 15, doing very well in the division, and right now, perhaps favorites to go back up. We'll have to avoid this potential banana skin, though, as we are underway here in Rome. Coliseo packed despite their team's lack of success thus far, as again it is 4-2-3-1s for both teams. Showman intercepting that from Hughes Galloway. Sanji takes a shot and Lax gets down to stop it. First blood to Rome then. Super Hoops sending that long. Cronus. Wad. Back to Hoppity. Hoppity, one of the unsung fullback heroes of the SSL, in this commentator's opinion. Hughes Galloway up the middle for Celtic. Flip, though, getting a foot in. And now back the other way, it's Showman. Trying to get around ball. Can't quite. Does now. Showman trying to hit at the far post, but Lax again with a good stop. Wad. And that's headed away by the crowd. Sanji gets to it. Dausch. Out to Wad. Cross in. Back out to Sanji. Romana trying again. Flip. Riveras. Now Van Eindhoven losing out to Miedema. Dybala off the free kick into Hughes Galloway, and that would have been a great goal, but Dybala offside. It will not count. Dobrich now on the free kick, sends it far post, and that's another good save by Lax. And Stausch offside. Not much to report from either team as we near the 30-minute mark. Although Celtic come forward now. Super Hoops. Over the top. Finding Pedrillo. Trying to find Ball, who goes down in the box, and the penalty is given. Referee going over to the monitor. First real moment of intrigue in this match as we await the VAR decision. Bit of a tense atmosphere here at Coliseo as the referee does not give the penalty. That could be an important moment in this match. The penalty not given, and now Romana at the other end. Showman with the corner kick. Either way, Sanji gets to recycle. Trying to dribble into the box. Right into the path of Snor Lax, though. Questionable decision-making by Sanji. Nosworthy. McTenny trying to send it up the pitch, but Sanji... Well, Romana got in the way, but Sanji scuffing the finish. And so, the rest of the first half passing more or less without incident as we enter the half. 0-0 the score. Not much from either team in the way of really exciting chances. There was that penalty shout that Celtic will probably have felt they should have received, but other than that, neither team with much in the way of attack. Second half underway now, and Romana will kick us off. We'll be looking to try and make the second half a little more notable than the first. One thing's for sure, Romana are up for this in a way that a lot of people, I think, wouldn't have predicted. Hoppity. Sanji sends it back. Sanji taking the touch, trying to round Super Hoops. Does now, but that pass into Hoppity off target. Hendry, but Sanji nicking it, and Dobrich taking that shot. But Dobrich might have been offside. VAR is going to review this. And the goal is indeed disallowed, so that goal off the board for Romana. And it's a shame because this was heads-up play by Sanji. But there you see Dobrich ruled just offside. It's a cruel twist, but that's soccer for you. Moves with the free kick. Nosworthy to Pedrillo. Pedrillo over the top, finding Super Hoops. Super Hoops cross first time, falls to Takahashi. And that's a corner kick for Celtic. Well, they've been bailed out by that offside, what would have been a very embarrassing goal to concede, as Ball sending that corner kick in, and that's headed over. Will that have woken Celtic up? Time will tell as they come forward again. Here's Takahashi. Hughes Galloway. Loses out, and Gagne sending it clear only as far as Hendry, who takes that shot, and that's not too far wide. Have Celtic started to wake up here? Riveros with the free kick for Romana. Finds Gagne. Now Wad. Van Eindhoven turns, passes into Dobrich. Not in from Dobrich, but held on to by Lax, who's been very solid there so far today. Nosworthy, long ball. Riveros' header down for Dybala. Dybala in, forces the save. Cronus had to tip it over, but does concede the corner. Now here's Ball. Far post, headed in by McKendy. Again, a good save by Cronus. Cross goes back in, headed out. Ball. Now Hughes Galloway drifts around Gagne. Gagne catching up though. Here's Galloway into the center. Hendry and Miedema, a bit of a miscommunication, but Takahashi puts it away. Well, it's a late goal, but a goal they'll take. Celtic up 1-0 as we enter the 70th minute. It looked like a bit of a scuffle there between Miedema and Hendry, trying to bring that ball into control, but Takahashi able to put that one away, and so Celtic up 1-0, perhaps a bit later than they would have liked. Bono with a chance to try and level it. Here's Hoppity into Sanji. Takes the shot, Lax again with a good save. Wad delivering the corner. Far post, headed away. Sanji there to clean up. Crosses to the other side as Wad gets that way wrong. Time winding down, and Celtic with that 1-0 lead, but Romana have looked better in this second half. They're rapidly running out of time to try and do something about this, though. Here's Showman. Takes that cut. What a good move. Unfortunately, the shot left something to be desired, and now Celtic on the break. Miedema carrying it forward. They may not have the players. Back to Pedrillo, to Super Hoops with a good look. But that's deflected. Took a lot of the speed off, and Cronus scoops it up. The second goal here would surely end it as Sanji has a go from distance, and that's off the crossbar. Showman. And Nosworthy clears. The ball now on the break up the other end, but stopped by Riveros. Reconfiguring our Celtic as that move fizzles out, but that was so nearly an equalizer. What a shot that was from so far out to get that close. About halfway through 2 minutes of added time as Flip forward to Riveros. Romana have to do something now. Crossed in, and Dobrich was unable to get that on target, and Showman was offside, and that might be the last gasp for Romana here. Hoppity, one last time over the top, but Dobrich would have been offside, and that is gonna do it. Well, both teams seemed to wake up a bit in the second half, but it was Celtic who put home the advantage. That goal from Takahashi, and they win 1-0. Snorlax, though, your player of the match for Celtic, with that incredible performance in goal, some excellent saves, under fire a surprising amount. You have to give credit to Romana for putting such pressure on the league leaders in a way that, again, I don't think a lot of people would have called going into today's matches. Celtic do escape with a 1-0 win, but Romana can hold their heads high for a very professional performance here. And so the score there, Romana 0, Celtic 1, as we move in to our final match of the day so far here in Division 2 of the Majors. and that is Buenos Aires hosting CD Tenochtitlan. Buenos Aires looking to try and build some momentum here in the middle part of the season. Tenochtitlan, one of the teams relegated at the end of last season, trying to claw their way back up into Division 1. Stadium packed, of course, here in Argentina. Tenochtitlan starting to catch some form, and for the first time today, it's a formation that's not a 4-2-3-1. Saints be praised. There you see Tenochtitlan on 10 points, some distance back from Celtic. We are underway here. Buenos Aires left to right in the white with a red stripe and black shorts. Tenochtitlan in their yellow and green. And that skids in, courtesy of Johnny Elliott, off of the free kick, and right away, Tenochtitlan with a 1-0 lead. We've got to look at that again. It went right into the wall, took a bit of an unlucky deflection, it has to be said. Satoshi can't react in time. And Tenochtitlan right out of the gate with a goal. I don't think they will have expected it, but that free kick, disastrous. Scott getting onto the end of it and forcing the corner. Well, that is an unforced error there by Tenochtitlan as it hands Buenos Aires a great chance here. Ruben out to McManus on the edge of the area. Back to Ruben. McManus again, can't get to the end line. Some very strong challenging there in the box, and it is enough to disrupt the move. Herrera Strongine sending it forward. Patterson can't hold on, and now Lorenzo passes up to Ruben, who sends it back. Ruben again. Rivers. De Silva sending it away, but it's back to Lorenzo up the middle for Scott, and Ball with a good save. That was headed top corner if Ball couldn't intervene. Ruben. McManus. To Santori. Just about keeping possession, but Tut does almost nick it away. Santori with the cross, headed away by Elliott. Lorenzo. Sending it back. Forced back. Good pressure from Roger. Buenos Aires trying to reset here. Lorenzo. Ruben. To the end line. Crosses. Out to McManus in space. Takes the shot. De Silva blocks. The rebound from Criminal ends up in Ball's hands. Elliott with the free kick and a good save by Satoshi to keep that one out. And Satoshi again able to claim that. Not going to get caught out a second time in rapid succession, it would seem. Ruben out to McManus again. McManus in a lot of space, takes the shot, and Daryl McManus hammers it home, and Buenos Aires level it up. Well, they'll feel hard done by to have conceded in such a fashion, but they've got one back now. Ruben McManus in acres of space just drills it into the net. Ball left standing, can do nothing about it. So we are back to level terms, 1-1 in the 15th minute now. Caetano. Header battle and Roger sending it over, but Patterson was offside. Ruben now with the corner. Again finding McManus at the edge of the area. Santori with that shot this time, and that one goes over. Buenos Aires has done very well to find space on the edge of the area off of those set-piece situations. It's got them their equalizer. Can it get them a winner? Scraper and Duck passing amongst themselves. Now Santori, far wing, into McManus. Is sending it back to Criminal. Santori in a lot of space, and that pings off of a Tenochtitlan defender. I believe that was De Silva. Now here comes Bloodflame. McNeil keeping pace. Bloodflame gets to the edge of the area. And Scraper sending it away. Ruben. Rivers losing out to Pinkman. And now Tenochtitlan trying again. Throwing here as we near halftime. McManus, Santori lays it off to Criminal, who makes a run up the far wing. Santori from close range, Giacomo Santori. And right before halftime, Buenos Aires have a 2-1 lead. This was great from Criminal to get around De Silva. Santori making that run into the channel. Just absolutely blasts it into the net. And so at the half, Buenos Aires, despite conceding first, find themselves up 2-1. They've certainly looked the better of the two teams thus far. Tenochtitlan did get that goal. We thought that might take the wind out of Buenos Aires' sails a bit, but not so. With both teams jockeying for position here in Division 2, trying to get that second promotion spot, as it looks like Celtic might be starting to run away with it. That fight for second and that playoff spot is so precious, as here is De Silva. Caetano. Bloodflame. Tut takes the shot, and that is tipped behind by Satoshi. Competition for that second place will be fierce. As remember, the second team plays off against the second to last team in Division 1 at the end of the season. The winner plays in Division 1 next season, the loser in Division 2. Certainly Tenochtitlan will know all about that, as that corner kick held by Satoshi. Not much to report here in the second half thus far. Tenochtitlan starting to get some good chances on the board, though. Less than 15 to play. Now less than 10 to play, and here comes Elliott for Tenochtitlan. Forward to Tut. Elliott. Armaros. Now Bloodflame loses out, and now break here for Buenos Aires. Here's Santori. Santori in and puts it away. And that might do it for this match. Buenos Aires extending their lead to 2. And it was a very quick break. Scott doing very well to spot the run of Santori. Just about outpaces De Silva and lifts it over ball. Well, it's Buenos Aires 3, Tenochtitlan 1, and that might put paid to any hopes of a comeback. Manus' free kick goes wide as we have 2 minutes of added time that have passed rather quickly here. Satoshi with the goal kick. McNeil. Now Lorenzo up the middle. Rivers losing out, and the referee blows the whistle. Buenos Aires 3, Tenochtitlan 1. Buenos Aires conceded first from that chaotic free kick courtesy of Johnny Elliott. But then Daryl McManus with a great finish, and then a brace from Giacomo Santori, who is, of course, your player of the match. Had a bit of a slow start, but were able to get it going just before the half. Buenos Aires will walk out with the 3 points. Meanwhile, Tenochtitlan looked like they might be able to pick up a win here, but we'll have to go back to the drawing board. And that is going to do it here in Division 2 of the Major League from Matchday 6. Just enough time to recap the results and look at the table as it stands. Of course, we saw the 1-1 draw between SFV and Tokyo earlier. Celtic with that win over Romana 1-0. And we just saw Buenos Aires 3-1 over Tenochtitlan. That moves Buenos Aires into second over Tenochtitlan, as they now hold that playoff spot. Leafyside Celtic still in first with 15 points. Well, that is going to do it for us here today. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we hope you'll continue to support the channel as we plow on with this season. Till next time, this has been Metafiction. Take care.